What's up, friends? Happy Pride and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm Madam Adam, and today we are doing another Honest Tarot deck review. Actually, it's an Oracle deck, which is super fun. Today we are looking at Drag Queen Oracle. I busted this deck open a little bit ago, and I have to say it is so much fun. The box, why aren't more decks packaged like this? I love I'm gonna gush over the box. The box, just the box, the magnetic flap is great. We love that. The cards fit in this little side pouch that they built here. And then the guidebook slides in and out on this little lip here as well. So it's all very well packaged. I love the look of the deck. And I'm really excited to dive into this with you guys. So on the back, it says, work each day, embrace your drag queen or king energy with this bright and celebratory oracle deck. It includes 40 illustrated cards, channeling your inner drag performer, a guidebook providing backstory for each oracle, along with a dose of fabulous inspiration. So let's get into the guidebook a little bit. Let's see the introduction here. Drag as an art form is centuries old. Exactly how it's been expressed throughout the decades has evolved drastically. From indigenous traditions to bustling Las Vegas reviews, drag is not an acronym, a Shakespearean invention, or simply men dressing as women. Humans have been doing drag long before we called it drag. Performers of all gender expression participate in the art form, invoking the masculine, feminine, and beyond to entertain, advocate, educate, or simply find the biggest stage possible for their eye-catching talents. At the heart of drag is the notion that gender and all forms of bodily self-expression are fluid, ever-evolving, and only as serious as you want them to be. As the status quo pressures people to blend in, drag rejects being pigeonholed. From dive bars to award-winning television shows, local library reading hours to national pride parades, drag artists express themselves while leading the charge for all of us to question our assumptions about identity. The drag archetypes and terms chosen to assemble this deck barely dip a stiletto heel into the depth and variety of modern drag. We address drag performers as royalty for a reason. They have wisdom to offer, and they often do so with biting wit and peerless style. Let them lead your way to a new perspective, and make sure to tip them in return. I love that. This is so great. This deck is created by Vander and Steve Foxe. And we're going to get into that a little bit back here. Here we go. About the creator. Steve Foxe is an award-nominated comic and children's book author, and the creator of Webweaver, Marvel's first gay spider hero. He lives in the Midwest with his partner and their dog. He's been fascinated with drag since childhood, but his ankles are far too weak to survive the heels. Vander is a trans filmmaker and drag queen who is raised by horror films and golden age Hollywood starlets. She currently resides in LA, where she weaves the tales of horror and glamour for stage and screen. She competed on the first season of Dragula and was crowned the show's first drag supermonster. Very cool. That's where I'm familiar with Vander from. Cheyne Gallarde is a queer artist who was born and raised in Hawaii, but now lives in LA. Cheyenne's art reimagines drag queens and queer people as modern-day superheroes. Very, very cool. So let's get into some of these cards a little bit. Some of them include tens across the board. The Activist, Avant-Garde, The Ball, The Bearded Beauty, The Body, Burlesque, The Butch Queen, etc. So it's all drag terms and phrases and things like that. Let's just start at the top, just tens across the board. What does that card mean? In ballroom culture, and I love the art in this deck is really cool. The images are great, but I love that it's somewhat muted, you know, the cards are somewhat muted. It's a little like this reading. It's pink, yes, but it's not so in your face, you know. I kind of really love that. And the back of the cards is just gorge. I just think this is so cool. So, tens across the board. In ballroom culture, judges award points for each category, from face to hands performance to bizarre Usually this means holding up big scorecards written with larger than life numbers. A performer who earns 10s across the board has slayed their competition and won over the hard-to-please judges. As with many ballroom sayings, 10s across the board has been picked up beyond the community to mean anyone living their best life and impressing the judges, real or metaphorical. When this card is drawn, embody that perfect score. Whether you're being judged by the world or your own harshest critic, strut your stuff like the trophy is within reach. Very cool. Let's skip to another random one. The crowning. On top of a gorgeous head. The crowning. Let's see what that one is. See, that's the thing about Oracle decks, is that it can mean anything that the creator wanted it to mean. It's not, tarot is very specific. Tarot cards mean what they mean, and having different artistry or imagery on the card can add layers to the meaning, but the baseline of what a card means still stays the same from tarot deck to tarot deck to tarot deck. Oracle decks allow a lot more fluidity to what they can express or what the cards mean, which is really cool. So the crowning, and the winner is, inspired by traditional cisgender female beauty pageants, drag pageants have been a staple of the queer community since the 60s. While some pageants restrict who can compete based on gender presentation, the scene has expanded to encompass all performers. Competing for the crown means assembling an extensive package, honing your performance skills, and frequently waiting your turn, as many pageant lifters know when it's just not their year. For the exceptional few, their hard work is rewarded with the crowning and all the recognition that accompanies it. When this card is drawn, reflect on your loftiest goals. What accomplishments would make you feel like the only royal? What preparation can you put into snatching the crown? If your goals feel out of reach, remember that some title holders compete for years before the crown comes to rest on their deserving heads. Very cool. I love this. I think this is great. I think this is really fun. I love that the representation of everything. I think the cards are really pretty. This is just a really very well done deck. I really like it, and I think that it's a great intro to Oracle. If you're new to Oracle decks, I think this would be a really great intro to it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is this a deck that you're interested in, or one that you might get or just collect for fun? I really like it. I'm glad that it's a part of my collection now. I'll have the links to where you can get your own in the description of this video. Let me know what you guys think. Which cards are you drawn to, and are there any that stick out to you in particular? Let me know what you guys think. The full look of Drag Queen Oracle is coming up right now.